Hello, everyone. I am so sorry I wasn't on last week. I have been emotionally, physically, mentally tired. Um, I've kind of been through a lot these past couple of weeks, in my personal life too. Um, I'm just incredibly, I don't know. I shouldn't talk about it because I still deeply hopelessly am in love, and I need to stop. I need to stop talking about how much I love this person. Anyway, um divorce just sucks. Anyway, I I need to get a emotional support dog, and so I'm thinking about getting one. And I'm really excited about that. I'm going to talk to my doctor about getting one. Anyway, so forests. I could talk about forests for weeks, can't you guys? Like, everything happens in the forest, right? Everything happens in the mountains or the forest or, I don't know, anywhere in nature, and really, but I mean, crazy stuff happens in the forest. So, we've heard of the fairy tale. I mean, there's all these fairy tales about the forest too. And I listened to this YouTube channel. It's called what is it called now? I gotta look it up now. I'm sorry. It's called oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. She has this soothing voice too. I mean, I really like her. Let me see if I can find her. Oh my gosh. This is so embarrassing. It's called The Fairy. Oh, The Scary Fairy Godmother. Have you guys heard of her? She's fabulous. She has these real stories about like people that are walking in the forest and they see this man that as they get closer and closer, he tries to lure them into the forest. Or they will see this, they will hear like a baby crying, and they get lured into the forest, and then for some reason or somehow they're missing like 6 hours of their whole day, and these kind of like crazy things about the forest. And some are fairy tales. Some of them are just about anything that has to do supernatural. So some of them are about gnomes. Oh, sorry, my nose is itching. Oh, anyway, and I love her. I wish that you beautiful humans out there will just please contact me with your stories. You probably feel like that they're talked about too much, but they're not. And the reason why they're not is because everybody that has known these stories or have heard of these stories or have experienced them, some of these people need to heal from them. And I don't know. I think I still do, even though I have all these curiosities now. But I really feel like I still feel like I need to talk about it, if that makes sense. I wonder if any of you guys have those same feelings. So anyway, forests. So I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of fairy tales have like this sweet, kind, innocent, young woman that goes into the forest and she's running away from either a wicked witch or a stepmother or a mean father or a wicked mother or a wicked queen, or yeah, I mean the list goes on of what they are running away for. And when they run into the mountains. Now, I've noticed lately I've been wanting to run to the mountains. Not that I'm like this pure innocent person, but I want to run to the mountains. I have been wanting to do that for a long time. I'll tell you about this. I'll put out a short video about it afterward. But there's something about women and going into the forest and then something happening, whether it's good or bad. And then there's a protector in the forest that helps you, or that helps the woman. Children, they vanish in the forest. I don't know if you noticed that either. You know, in these fairy tales. Some of them are protected. But some of them are not. And then there's only a couple of stories where an innocent girl goes into the forest and she's eaten by a wolf or by a bear. But it seems like that when a man goes in a forest, if he's a good person, he finds the love of his life. If he's a bad, or good things happen to him. But if he's a bad person, then he gets killed. There's stories of like entire troops or entire armies will go into the forest and something bad will happen. Or sometimes they'll go into the forest and something good happens, but it depends on, their level of chivalry, I guess, so to speak. Now all of a sudden I'm thinking of Monty Python in the forest. Anyways, sorry guys. I don't know what brought that up. Anyway, but let's talk about a few creatures in the forest. So since the dawn of time, forests are the mystery. Forests are mysterious, and they always have been. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, I want to read that so badly. I better find it on Amazon. But in the Epic of Gilgamesh, it talks about how the people of Gilgamesh and the people of Enkidu will had a battle with monsters in the forest, and they won. And they were in these cedar forests, and then they cut down the trees in the cedar forest. And they were the Gilgamesh were the first to cut down the cedar trees. And that is true. It's important to state that cedar is very important in the paranormal, or para-weird is what I call. Cedar is really important. It's a protector. Cedar is. I don't know if you guys knew that. I'm sure you guys do. You guys, I'm sure, know a lot more than me. But anyway, there is so many mythology or stories, ancient stories that have been passed down for thousands of years about the forest, about the wilderness. And if you read about the wilderness in some of these places, like in Africa and stuff, it's not what you think of the wilderness here. Wilderness here kind of reminds me of like a forest or the mountains, but the wilderness in some of these, ancient stories from Africa and from the Middle East are not always in the forest. They're not always in the mountains. They're in the desert. And that's a whole other, topic about the wilderness kind of thing. But so Norse mythology, long before J.R.R. Tolkien was around, has Mirkwood. Mirkwood was considered dangerous in the forest. So there are many creatures. There are fairies, there are dragons, giants, elves, dwarves, orcs, trolls, goblins, gnomes, unicorns, talking trees. And then even, I don't want to say modern day cryptids, but even, just so many things happen in the forest. It's very interesting. And a lot of the fairy tales that come from the forest, I find fascinating too, because I don't think that they're all just folk tales. Somehow or another, somebody got hurt in the forest, and so they made a cautionary tale of it. There's stories like, the Snow White story is a lot older than, who was it? Was it Charles Perrault that wrote it? It was a lot older than 17 and 1800s. Those stories come from ancient stories. It wasn't a stepmother, it was a queen in Snow White. But there's so many other stories, like about Rumpelstiltskin. He lived in the forest. So there's also the Green Man. There's the old men that live in the forest. There's witches that live in the forest. Anyway, it can go on, and so that's why I'd love to talk about forests for weeks and weeks on end. But there's this one Slavic creature that I just heard about, and it's interesting. I started reading about enchanted forests and that kind of thing, and I stumbled upon him. So I want to talk about him today, and I hope you guys have heard about him. If you haven't, that kind of makes me feel like I'm kind of cool because I talk about him. But at the same time, he's been around forever, so I'm sure everybody's heard about him. And I'm just the last to hear about him. But Leshy, or Leshy. He goes by other words too, I can't remember. But they can assume any size or weight. They are considered the Slavic shapeshifter. He's from the forest. Literally, Leshy in Polish means man from the forest, I think. Or he from the forest. And so Leshy is a humanoid that can change from human to bear to wolf to a tiny creature to a large tree. So that's why he's considered a shape shifter. He is known to lead hikers away from their trail. He is known to abduct children. He it is said that, there are many people or many children that were missing in the forests of, the Slavic regions. So that would include, like Czechoslovakia, any Slavic country, all the way up to Poland. Poland's are Slavs as well. Um, Even in Scandinavian cultures, they have something similar to Leshy. It is told that he is the protector of the forest. He will um, he will laugh, whistle, cry, sing while he's in the forest to kind of lure people deeper into the forest. He is described as temperamental. It is said that he has a wife and children, and that there are tribes of, I think they're called Leshy, or he has tribes of himself. He lives in family units. When he is seen as a man, he has no eyebrows, no eyelashes, and he has one ear missing, which would be the right ear is missing. When he's also seen as a man or a creature, his skin tone is blue. He is said to have somewhat of a pointed head, but he wears no belt and he wears no hat. He is said, humans with a good heart, it is said that he protects them. He will hibernate, or they will hibernate and come out in the spring. And when the leaves fall in the autumn time, that's when he goes to sleep. He is portrayed as having antlers, like a humanoid with antlers. Shepherds and farmers use him as protection, so they will try to give him something to keep him around so that they are protected. He is known to, with the peasants, give them cows and cattle to help them out so that they are not so poor. He is so fascinating. And, when I was looking at this, I was trying to find, I know that people have seen him in the forest, or else how is it that they can describe him? But I've not seen anything that really truly talks about him, that really truly, like, an actual sighting. And so I'm wondering what you guys know of Leshy. I'm wondering if anybody has seen Leshy. I'm really curious about that. To me, I think Leshy kind of, even though he sounds like a shapeshifter, it's kind of interesting. He also kind of sounds like Bigfoot, don't you think? But I don't know, maybe not. Maybe he's still different. But he's also described as a Wendigo. And Wendigos are definitely not Bigfoot. So I'm really curious. Has anybody seen him? Does anybody know much about him? As I was looking on there, I noticed that there were like a game about him. I don't know. It was really weird. And then they talked about something about Leshy in The Witcher. But I wonder if it's in the books too. And the reason why I wonder that is because the writers of The Witcher, the writer of the books, And the game, he's from Poland. And so I wonder if he incorporated that. I should read the Witcher books and see. But I'm just really curious if anybody else has heard about him. And don't dog on me if you have, just let me know. And you know, let me know in the comments. I really want to talk about all these things with people and with you guys, and that would be a lot of fun. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your interaction with me. So I'm going to post this video, but I'm making a next one. So, and that will be within the next few minutes because I have a couple of ideas and I want you guys to kind of have a say in that, okay? So, see you in the next video. It's going to be today. It'll be posted about maybe a half hour after this one. So hang in there. Love you guys. Maybe it will come out before because this one is a little bit longer, so it might take longer to upload. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and I will see you very, very soon in the next video. Bye.